Those of ears to hear, let them listen. So in chapter 10 of Acts, Peter gets called to the house of a man named Cornelius. And as Peter entered the house, Cornelius met him and fell at his feet in reverence. But Peter made him stand up. "Stand up," he said. "I am only a man myself. You are well aware that it is against our law for a Jew to associate or even visit a Gentile. But God has shown me that I should not call anyone impure or unclean." The significance of all of that. First off, this man Cornelius, he was a Gentile, right? He was a Roman centurion in the Italian regime. Basically, he was a higher up in the heart of Rome, not just some centurion from Galilee, not like, you know what I mean? Like he very, very, very high up in the military. He was a God-fearer, okay? That's important to know. He believed in Yahweh. That's why he was able to receive that vision. He just wasn't a convert to Judaism, and like, who can blame him, you know? But the Jews considered the Romans unclean. They considered anybody else that wasn't Jewish unclean. And that's not what they were supposed to do. Ever since God first brought them out of Egypt, they told them to be a nation of priesthoods, people who spread his name. But they never did that because they wanted Yahweh all to themselves, right? Ironically, God was able to create converts despite all of that, like with Rahab and Ruth, and his name will never not be spread. But they saw them as unclean. And why did they see the Romans as unclean? They saw them as unclean for a multitude of reasons, but a big reason why they hated them so much was because they were oppressing the Jews. And that just got me to thinking of like, who do we see as unclean today? Lots of the times we'll see it as people who party a lot, because we'll just be like, oh, they're just here to feel good about themselves. If they're at church, they don't feel good about themselves, okay? Or we'll see it in other religions that are like, that don't get it. But we get it. We know the truth because we're Christian. Jesus never once tried to make anybody Jewish. And that should tell us something. Becoming a Christian doesn't really mean all that much, because that's not going to save you. Being Jewish didn't save them. That's what Jesus' whole message was, right? Your relationship with Jesus, if you know who God is, that's what saves you. And if you do the will of God, that's what saves you. So the Romans oppressed Jews, okay? So who in our lives have oppressed us? People who've done us wrong. People who we kind of have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder towards them, because like that's how the Jews treated the Romans. They had a chip on their shoulder because they didn't like taking the taxes. They didn't like how they had power over them. And we do the same thing with people who have wronged us, or situations who have wronged us. We refuse to go back to those situations. We refuse to talk to those people, right? No one is unclean. That's what Peter says. The Lord has been telling me that no one is unclean. No one is beyond saving. That's a huge, major point in the entire Bible. Look at Paul, prime example. He was persecuted and was there at the murder of the first Christian, and people were like honoring him because of that. Awful things. So no one is beyond saving at all. There's so many people that can be saved, and then that will be on fire for the Lord because they have been saved. Just because you're angry at somebody, like that's not right. It says in Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 through 42, that's the verse about like if you go 1 mile, then go 2 miles with them. People say, oh, Jesus is slyly teaching them how to get back at Rome. That's not it, okay? Because right before that, he said, eye for an eye. If somebody slaps you, let them slap you. He's stressing that revenge is the Lord's. If we try to take revenge, it's going to turn into a never-ending cycle. We're never going to get the exact revenge that we want, because chances are people are going to know that you want revenge on you, and they're going to keep doing you dirty while you're trying to get revenge. Revenge will consume you. That's why he says, let the Lord take revenge. The thing is, the eternal pits of hell is a very, very, very bad place to go. It's eternal. They're going to be in a river of fire, unable to die, being burned alive every single day, every single moment, feeling that pain, knowing that you're not in heaven, knowing that you didn't get it right. Dread, guilt, so much because you're going to be knowing that you didn't get it right. That's an awful fate. I do not wish that upon anybody. And neither should you. If you believe in the Lord and if you try to love like Jesus and you try to live like Jesus, Jesus didn't even want the Pharisees who killed him to experience that. That's why he sent his disciples to go continue to preach. For everybody, he hoped that the Pharisees would in time turn to him. Okay? No one is beyond our saving, and no one deserves to go to hell. Or we all deserve to go to hell. But when we have the knowledge of how to not go there, we should be telling everybody, because we shouldn't want that on anybody, even those who have wronged us. How much better would it be for you to switch that and be able to make something beautiful out of it and lead them to faith and lead them to a better life and lead them away from their wrong ways, away from the ways of oppression? Because if they've done something wrong to you, chances are they've done something wrong to other people as well. How much more beautiful would it be to see them in heaven and be like, oh, good job, like, I'm proud of you, like, isn't this amazing? We could be friends now for all of eternity. Than to have to watch them go down to hell. It says on Judgment Day that it's going to be so grotesque that no one's going to be able to, like, watch the sight of the punishment of the wicked people who refuse to receive Jesus Christ as their Messiah. Is going to be the most unsightly thing of all time ever. No one deserves that. When we know the truth, when we know this can save you, just this, one little, like, some lifestyle changes, that's all it takes. Just deciding to live for good instead of living in evil, you're helping them. You're helping them change their life around. You're helping them and be able to love their life and enjoy their life. Because those people that have wronged you, they don't enjoy their life. We shouldn't want that on anybody. And we have the ability to change people's lives.